Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Baseball King Collectibles. I am the Baseball King, and here I am giving you another episode of my journey. For you newcomers out there who've never been seen me before, it's basically just a life story of mine, and I'll take you through my collection, one story, one card, one photo at a time. So that's what we've been doing here for the last couple of weeks, and we're so glad you could all join us and come back again. And on today's show, I think I got a pretty good one. A bunch of Hall of Famers, a near-miss Hall of Famer, a sure shot Hall of Famer who I believed in. So I got a bunch of his cards back in the day, which was not advisable to do anytime. So I did it. I got in the trap back in the 80s. We're going to open up a 1985 pack of Donruss. See if we can find that Mattingly rookie card. All right. Number 10, of course. We don't want just offset on one. We want a number 10. And what else? Oh, we got, we're going to have a mystery guest. Not just any mystery guest, a super mystery guest, all right, celebrity-wise. So that should be a little hint. So that's about it for today's show, and let's just get into it. All right, look, I'm sitting in my hand, I'm holding these up. I just dropped one. I just probably bent the corners, all that, but that's okay. It's my collection. I can do what I want with it. I can throw them up in the air and do what I want with them, right? Trevor Hoffman. Coming off the train, Shea Stadium, no one even knew who he was. He was very young at the time. This might even be his rookie card. I think it might be. I'm not a big rookie card guy other than the vintage and stuff. So you guys let me know if that's his rookie card. I think it is. I think it's beautiful incentive. What I didn't even know I had this card that well off. Beauty, right? So Trevor Hoffman, only time I ever saw him. Most times I only saw guys once or twice. I didn't need more than that. All right, it's a beauty. Hall of Fame, of course. Next one is not a Hall of Famer, but controversy is just the same. Curt Flood. Also at Shea Stadium. He came for an old timers day back in the late 80s, maybe, early 90s. And we all know the story of Curt Flood. He tried to fight the reserve clause. He took it all the way to the Supreme Court. And he filed a lawsuit. I don't know how many millions, 50 million. Of course, he didn't get a penny. And eventually, they did change the reserve clause because of him. You were tied to that team forever. Unless you were unconditionally released, you were with the Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Twins, whoever. That was your team for life, unless they told you we don't want you no more. So he tried to change that once he got traded. He didn't want to go, whatever. But finally, a couple of years later, it broke through the free agency. But yeah, because of this guy, really. And then today is the day where he was turned down by the Supreme Court, maybe not the first time. I think the first time he was turned down by the federal courts, and things didn't work out. But he fought. Let me tell you something. This guy fought, and every player today should be thankful to Curt Flood for what he did for everybody. Now let's move on to our next guest, and this was a big disappointment for me. 1985 rookie cards. Of course, it was Gooden was the big chase, and of course I was chasing all after Gooden. Open up box after. There was the only way to get cards back then, guys. Open up boxes, open up wax packs. That's no other way. It was the only way. You couldn't. There was no online. There was nothing. All right, card shows you can of course go to and buy them there. They were infrequent. The hot rookie cards would sell out quick. Like a Gooden would be 10, 15 bucks at the time. You wouldn't even find them in stock. Guys would sell out so quick. And this was another guy. And I'll show you the whole sheet. Eric Davis, yeah, that guy. He was supposed to be the next, he was the guy for a couple of years. He burst on the scene, 80 steals, 27 homers, just incredible. Out of nowhere. He just came out of nowhere. And he burst on the scene. Guys, think of Ronald Acuna, okay, with the injuries, because that's what happened to this guy. Injuries, okay, took him down quick. He had about 4 or 5 big years. Look at his number, big years. Injuries caught up with him. Later in his career, he had a couple nice years, a comeback, with the Reds again. He came back in a nice year. And a couple other years, tail end of his career with Baltimore, I think he had a nice year. But other than that, he fizzled. He was on his way. This was Ronald Acuna 40 years ago. This was Ronald Acuna, okay? So, but this was the only card of him. So I have to chase after card after card after card. Crazy that would have been, right? And here's another failed attempt. On the backside, look, another guy. Another guy who didn't make it. Rookie card. These were his rookies also, Joe Carter. You got to make the attempt, of course, but it doesn't pan out, guys. It really, very rarely pans out. It doesn't. Thankfully, I have those cards that did pan out, like those Ryan rookie cards I showed you the other day, the Twins. So also Eric Davis, speaking of Eric Davis, there's the Beckett. Nice one, beauty, right? Nice autograph. He gives you a really nice, clean, quick one. Very nice guy. I just a couple times I met him. Very nice, very cordial. Signs for all the fans. And he was a big shot, big star at the time. He wasn't just Eric Davis, washed up, running around. I won't even say washed up. He had injuries. He was a good player. He just had a rough late career because of the injuries. But this guy was destined. Hall of Fame all the way. This guy would have been a first-time ballot. But, like I said, Ronald Acuna, remind you? Does, right? Hey, this guy too on the back. Look, another guy on his way. Mike Greenwell. He was on his way too. What happened to him? Fell off the map. Another one. The Red Sox. Anyway, let's get to our last week's. We had these guys on our cheap seats. No introductions needed for this guy. I don't have to tell you this guy's name, number, whatever he's done in life. They should just name the Gold Glove Award winner the Brooks Robinson Award, because for third baseman, that was his award. Oh, I don't know how 16, 15, 17 years, you name it, he got the award every year, and it wasn't even close. There was no runner-up. It was the Brooks Robinson, no second, nobody. If you were in the American League as a third baseman, you had no chance at the award for many years. And what I like about this photo, I didn't have nothing inscribed. I should have. How many Gold Gloves? I don't know why I didn't do that. The Yankee Stadium in the background, the facade, the old light stand shit on top. And like I said, most of these photos you see were taken in Yankee Stadium. These are for Topps, obviously. Topps used this probably for their cards at the time. And then the photo rights got bought and all that. So this definitely one of those Topps. It wasn't used on a card, I don't think, this actually photo, but it's a nice photo, Brooksy, and a nice signature. Next guy up, we had the base stealing king for many years until Ricky passed him by. But while I was a kid, this was the guy. I mean, he was stealing 100, unheard of. He broke the record. Maury Wilson's record was unheard of, And he put that down his career amount of steals, Hall of Fame with the year. Nobody does that no more. Like I said, you got to pay more for these inscriptions now than the autograph itself. So I love Lou Brock. He was a great player. Even though he was a rival Cardinal, I was a Yankee fan, so it didn't matter to me much, but he was a great guy. Alrighty, let's move on. It's mystery guest time, guys. You all want it. You all love it. It's back. Mystery guests. Who will today's mystery guest be? He's very Superman, I'll tell you that. He's a Superman. And he's the Man of Steel, of course. And he was my favorite. Actually, my second favorite. Man of Steel of George Reeves, the original ones on TV. That was great. You got it. Those were the best. As campy as they were, looking back now, I think as a kid, they were great. But the second favorite was this guy. Got the letter of authenticity, and it's Christopher Reeve. He was my second favorite. He was my favorite movie actor as Superman, by far. He really did a good job. Here's a close-up of his autograph. Really nice guy when I met him. Tragically happened, before he tragically had that injury. Fell off a horse and was never the same. And, couldn't sign even. So for many years he was alive, but wasn't the same. He couldn't act no more. He did little roles here and there. There's a certificate. Like I said, for anything major, like this is a major piece on Christopher Reeve on a Superman. This is a good piece value-wise. So I have to get this certified. Otherwise, it's know what it's worth? Nothing. And you know what it's worth right now? Actually, what it's worth, the value right now? It's worth nothing. Why? Because I didn't sell it. It's what's it giving me? Is it paying my bills? No. Is it buying me clothes, putting food on my table? No. It's worth zero until I sell it. I'm never going to sell it. So it's worth zero. It's just worth it to the collector as a hobby. You guys stop looking at things value-wise. Your collection is worth zero until you sell it. All right? There's no value. And if you're not selling it, it's going to stay zero value, okay? That's just the way it is. It's a hobby, guys. Hobby first. Hobby first. Keep that. So with that in mind, we're going to wrap things up here, and we'll see you next time on Baseball King Collectibles.